The greats never sacrifice the important for the urgent. They handle the immediate problem and still make sure to secure the future. Now, whilst I think that's a fantastic quote, and we certainly don't want to be sacrificing the future on the altar of the present, how can we make time for both? Where does that time come from? Remember, failure was part of the objective of entering the gym this morning. Are there things in your business that are worse off for having you involved in them?
How can I use my business as a way to be there for my family more?
Those outputs can only be reined in and intentionally developed or directed by managing the inputs.
Forced us eventually to take over 2 years of our life to dig out of just to get to zero.
You don't have the things from the places you haven't gone to. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. The flies come for the poo, right? There's a push-pull effect with all of your marketing, and it needs to be pushing away the customers that are not a good fit and drawing in the ones that are. Hey, welcome to all of you bandits and chilies. This episode is called The Treadmill Trap. This is a bit of a pen and paper episode. In addition to a very clarifying exercise, there are also some good questions that honestly you'll just get more value from if you actually sit with them and write them down. It's funny, the act of sitting with a pen and paper and engaging with a question at the level of, I am going to write the answer down to this, it just completely shifts your capacity to be impacted by that question. So, that's my suggestion, grab a pen and paper. Now, I'm sure that you're going to be able to relate to this. You've ended a really long work day at the end of what has been a really long work week. It felt like it was about 47 days long, and yet at the same time, it felt like it was only 2 days long and there wasn't enough hours within those days. And then you look back at that week, and it feels like you haven't actually made any progress. How did I work this hard, and it feels like I'm getting nowhere? And this can continue. The weeks, they turn into months, and then the months turn into years. And it just feels like you've been running on a treadmill, expending all of this energy, all of this effort, all of this work, only to stay right where you are. You wake up and you feel like you're already behind. You're checking texts, emails, dealing with a no-show employee, rescheduling a customer. Your to-do list feels more like a react-to list. You're in survival mode, and all of your objectives are forced to be on the extremely short term. You don't have the luxury of future planning. You've been telling yourself, once things calm down, then I'll focus on growth. But things never seem to calm down, or they calm down just long enough for you to reflect on this problem, get a tiny bit of perspective, and then it's off to the races again because a massive job cancelled, your squeegee had an oil leak, your tile spinner ran out of RPMs, and the vacuum cleaner stopped sucking, which just plain sucks. Ultimately, the difference between present focus and future focus looks a lot like the difference between being reactive versus proactive. One of last season's episodes is called You Teach People How to Treat You, and Your Proprietary Limited is the same. You are teaching your business how to treat you. So if your business is constantly feeding you a long list of problems for you to react to, that is because you have accepted that role. You have developed a track record of being the person who that list of items is handed to. And if you start your business from scratch, it kind of has to be that way in the beginning. You are building something brand new and no one else cares about it. No one else will accept the list of to-do items. So, if there is a need to set up a Facebook page, or to fix a broken link on your website, or to call a customer back to deal with a client complaint, or to repair a piece of equipment, or to sort out your insurances, or update your tax information, or find another job to book in because you need the work, the whole list is given to you. All of it. Because no one else will do it. No one else can do it. As you grow, the volume of that list also grows. And so by necessity, you need to either stop growing or start delegating. There's a great line, which is apparently from a show called Billions. I haven't seen that, but I saw this on the whiteboard of Eric from the War Plan team, and the quote is this: "The greats never sacrifice the important for the urgent. They handle the immediate problem and still make sure to secure the future." Now, whilst I think that's a fantastic quote, and we certainly don't want to be sacrificing the future on the altar of the present, how can we make time for both? Where does that time come from? As I mentioned, there is delegation. That is the biggest one. Additionally, there is automation, which is basically the same as delegation, but just to a software instead of to a person. Then there is fat trimming. Maybe for some processes, it's better to simplify them rather than to outsource them. Maybe it isn't worth paying someone or something to keep doing it the way that you've done it in the past, and so a bit of simplification is called for. So that's delegation, automation, and simplification. Use those three things to help you buy back some time so that you can work on higher leverage activities within your business, working on your business rather than just constantly getting caught working in your business on the treadmill trap. Just before we get into delegation, automation, and simplification, I run a 6-week Frappe framework roughly every 2 months. Frappe is based on Joshua Latimer's FRAP formula, which stands for frequency, referrals, average ticket, and price. I then added production rate and expenses to turn it into a delicious and refreshing coffee kick for your business. Right now, I am in the middle of becoming FRAP certified through Joshua Latimer's Profit Academy program, which is insanely awesome, and there are free challenges for that starting soon. I think the next one is on the 25th of August. Anyway, point being, why I'm bringing this up, one of the things that has been getting drilled into my head more and more and more through that certification process is the fact that FRAP or Frappe, that stuff, is the most leveraged thing that you could be working on within your business. Within Warplan's Profit Academy, they have a breakdown of various strategies that you can implement in order to increase your average ticket or to get more referrals or whatever. And then you work out how long it would take you to implement that specific thing into your business and how much additional revenue it would add to your business over the course of the next 12 months. Within the Frappe framework, I call this the Frappe Roadmap because yes, I am really that lame. But the shifts that can be made within these frameworks have huge leverage. For example, in a recent Frappe framework, one business owner added, by his own conservative projections, an extra $126,000 in annual revenue from a strategy that would take him roughly 20 hours to deploy. And that's not atypical. By shifting your focus away from the weeds, away from what is keeping you on your treadmill trap, you can focus on the higher value work. This is exactly the nature of the problem and the solution. To work out the best path of delegation, automation, and simplification, try this simple exercise. And look, you've probably heard this before, but don't tune out. Our brains treat new things as being more valuable and more interesting than old things. And that just isn't necessarily true at all. So just because you might have heard this, don't discard it, especially if you haven't done this exercise recently. Make a spreadsheet or grab a pen and paper or a whiteboard or a napkin or some beads or an assortment of colored crayons, whatever floats your boat, and write out every task that you can think of which you are currently handling within your business. The beauty of this simple approach is that it grows with you. Again, if you are brand new, this will include basically everything that could possibly happen within your business. Doing the labor, answering the phones, sending the invoices, balancing the books, all of it. But if you've grown and you have a team around you of 5 or 15 or 50, then these tasks will look totally different. What is it that is taking up your time? Are you the central point of communication between 9 different team members? Are you handling compliance documents and submitting tenders? Is your schedule interspersed with employee interviews? Whatever it is, write it all down and then go through the list. I like to first put a star or a highlight next to the ones that would be really difficult to outsource. Then I put another color or mark for the ones that I just really personally hate doing. They just leave me feeling drained. Lastly, I go through the list and give a rough dollar per hour value of what it would cost to outsource each of those tasks at market rates. Maybe there are some basic tasks that you could get a VA to handle. Maybe there are some more qualified tasks that cost more, or that you might need to outsource to an agency as you don't have enough of them to justify the efficiency of scale that comes with employing someone. The end result is a list that starts to look pretty exciting. Here are the cheapest things that you can move off your plate, and here is the cost of moving the things that you most hate doing off your plate. If you're lucky, there might even be some overlap between the two. Can you bundle these tasks into a full-time job role? Can some of them be delegated to existing members of your team? Can you outsource some to another business, such as with bookkeeping or tracking KPIs? If you aren't in a position to do anything with some of the things on your list right now, you can at least start documenting how it needs to be done so that when you are ready to hire someone, you have a training system ready to go that covers exactly how you want it handled. Loom is your best friend for this. Pick the easiest path forward. What is the lowest threshold way that you can get the most off your plate right now or within the next 30 days? Nothing changes if nothing changes. This can be really scary. It is hard to let go of control, but just like that until fail episode, maybe you need to fail in the pursuit of this in order to find the path to success. Maybe you are 4 hires away from a truly great admin. Okay, well, get a move on and learn your lessons from the first 3 as soon as possible. If you are constantly the one to do the things, if you remain reactive, if you allow your business to keep treating you the way that it kind of had to in the very beginning, then you cannot scale because you are just too busy just maintaining. Once you make a bit of space in your schedule for those things, you can spend more non-negotiable time on higher leverage frappe tasks. How can you adjust those 6 dials in your business by 9% or 17% or 31% or 2%, whatever? The compounding effect of focusing on increasing your frequency, referrals, average ticket price, production rate, and reducing your expenses is massive. Here's a few good additional questions to think about in regards to the treadmill trap. What percentage of your work week is reactive versus proactive? If you're at over 80% reactive, you're in the trap. When's the last time you worked on something that will make a positive impact in 6 months' time? If you can't remember, then you're in the trap. Are you the bottleneck? If work stops when you stop, then you're in the trap. Is there a problem you have faced more than twice in the last 3 months that you don't have a system for? Make a process so that you never have to solve it through a creative process ever again. Don't sprint yourself into burnout on a treadmill of maintaining the status quo. Reduce your reactivity, increase your proactivity, and, if you like, in that process, you can also reduce your total amount of time spent working and reallocate some more of that time towards your family or towards whatever matters most for you. This becomes easier the higher the leverage of the work that you are doing. If you are cleaning the carpets or answering the phones, it is hard to reallocate from work time to family time beyond a certain level. But if you focus your work time on moving the dials of frappe, you will gain more and more leverage from the work that you do. You can book a free clarity call with me and we can make a game plan for you specific to your situation and business. Link in the description. You can also check out the Frappe framework at warplan.au/frappe. Link in the description for that as well. The next one starts on the 27th of August. Also, send me a DM in our free school group if you're interested in the upcoming Frappe challenge that is being run by Joshua Latimer and the Warplan team. I'll give you more details as soon as I have them. I think the next one is towards the end of this month, but I need to confirm dates and details. That's it. Have an awesome day. Make someone else's day awesome. I love you just the appropriate amount, like take whatever is weird and then take a healthy step backwards from that line. That's exactly how much. If it's weird, you're the weirdo. Catch ya. Bye. Hey, you're a family-oriented business grower. You should join our free group for family-oriented business growers. It's like the perfect place for someone your size and shape. Join via warplan.au. Link in the description. And whilst you're there, you can book a free clarity call with me to help identify the next 3 dominoes you need to knock over in your business.